For thousands of years, spiritual traditions have taught that vibration is the foundation of existence, not just as a metaphor, but as a living principle that explains why anything exists at all. In these teachings, matter vibrates because energy is never still, and consciousness itself is described as a field of movement that expresses through frequency. From this point of view, life is not solid and fixed. It is dynamic, pulsing, and continuously oscillating in subtle patterns that connect the body, the mind, and the cosmos. This is why so many ancient philosophies speak of sound as the origin of creation, because vibration is seen as the first impulse that gives structure to reality. Within this framework, certain numbers are believed to reflect deeper harmony, and 432 Hz has been presented as one of those numbers, said to resonate with natural cycles and sacred proportions. The claim that this reference frequency was later replaced by 440 Hz is interpreted by some as more than a technical adjustment, but as a departure from an alignment that once echoed the deeper order of life and awareness. When people speak about 432 Hz, they speak about a kind of alignment, meaning a feeling that the sound sits in place inside you, the way breathing feels easier when your body relaxes and your mind stops racing. They describe it as harmony with the earth because the sound feels less sharp in the chest and head and more steady in the body, like it supports a calmer emotional state and a clearer inner space. In this way of thinking, vibration is the base layer of experience, because your thoughts have a tempo, your emotions have a pulse, and your body runs on rhythms that you can feel every day, like your heartbeat, your sleep cycles, and the way stress speeds you up. When a sound repeatedly enters your ears, it does not stay only in the ears, because it affects breathing, muscle tension, attention, and mood. And over time, people believe it can influence how a whole population feels, especially when the same music is heard everywhere through media and public spaces. Now let's take a look at how this connects to the Earth itself, because one of the strongest reference points people use is the Schumann resonance, which many describe as the planet's natural pulse. Scientists measure it at around 7.83 Hz as the main resonance, and it forms because lightning releases energy that bounces between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, creating a repeating electromagnetic wave that wraps around the planet. People who link 432 Hz to the Earth say the connection is built through harmonics and octaves, meaning that if you keep doubling a frequency, you get higher versions of the same relationship, and that in this way, 7.83 can be carried upward into ranges that relate to audible sound. In spiritual language, the Schumann resonance is often called the heartbeat of the Earth because it represents a constant background rhythm that life has always lived inside. And the idea is that the nervous system, the emotional system, and even the way we settle into calm may be influenced by this environment, so a frequency that echoes those relationships may feel more natural to the body and more supportive to the mind. The idea that the Earth emits a measurable frequency has inspired many to question whether the human body, which evolved entirely within this field, might be attuned to it in subtle ways. Research into brainwave patterns shows that human brain activity operates within ranges that overlap with low-frequency electromagnetic oscillations. And although mainstream science does not claim that musical tuning directly connects to planetary resonance, the symbolic relationship remains compelling to those exploring consciousness. The concept becomes less about strict scientific equivalence and more about harmonic alignment, about whether certain frequencies feel more coherent with the living field that surrounds us. Another powerful visual element in this conversation comes from cymatics, the study of how sound organizes matter into geometric shapes. When frequencies pass through sand, water, or metal plates, symmetrical patterns form, and these patterns change as the tone changes. Observers often describe certain frequencies as producing cleaner, more balanced designs, and some claim that 432 Hz generates patterns that appear smoother and more harmonious compared to slightly higher tunings. Whether or not these observations are interpreted scientifically, the image of sound shaping matter reinforces a spiritual principle that vibration organizes reality. Because the human body is largely composed of water, the conversation often extends to the idea that different frequencies could influence molecular arrangement or energetic structure within the body. While laboratory evidence on this topic remains debated, the symbolic link between water, vibration, and consciousness carries deep spiritual weight. Many traditions speak of the body as a resonant vessel capable of responding to sound at both physical and emotional levels. In this view, 432 Hz becomes more than a number. It becomes a proposal that certain vibrations encourage coherence, while others may create subtle tension. Historical references are frequently mentioned as well, with claims that ancient civilizations used tuning systems closer to 432 Hz in their instruments and sacred chants. Although exact pitch standards varied widely across regions and eras, supporters highlight the recurring appearance of the number 432 in mythological and cosmological contexts, including ancient time cycles and architectural proportions. These numerical appearances are interpreted as evidence that earlier cultures understood vibration as a sacred force, encoded into ritual, music, and structure. Even if historical documentation remains incomplete, the symbolic repetition of this number continues to fuel belief in its significance. One of the most controversial claims in the 432 Hz discussion centers on the idea that the adoption of 440 Hz in the early 20th century was influenced by political and financial power structures rather than by simple musical convenience. According to the conspiracy narrative, during the 1930s, the German government promoted 440 Hz as the official pitch standard across orchestras, military bands, and national radio broadcasts, ensuring that all public performances followed the same reference tone. The theory argues that this slightly higher tuning produces a brighter and more stimulating sound that subtly activates the nervous system, keeping listeners in a more alert and emotionally reactive state. Supporters of this idea believe that when an entire population is repeatedly exposed to music tuned in this way through concerts, rallies, and radio programming, it can gradually influence collective mood by increasing tension and emotional intensity. Some versions of the theory expand this further, suggesting that international conferences later reinforced 440 Hz as a global standard with the support of powerful industrial and financial interests, including references to the Rockefeller name, because a single worldwide tuning simplified mass production of instruments, recording equipment, and broadcasting systems. In this view, 440 Hz became dominant not only because it was convenient, but because it allowed centralized control over the sound environment heard by millions, shaping culture through uniformity in manufacturing, media distribution, and public performance. Supporters of this theory argue that music is one of the most powerful emotional tools available to a society, and that small adjustments in frequency could subtly influence collective mood over time. They believe that if a tuning creates slightly more tension in the body, then widespread exposure through radio, concerts, and recorded music could gradually affect how populations feel on a daily basis. From this perspective, the change in tuning becomes part of a larger pattern where cultural systems are standardized for control, efficiency, and influence. There is no documented evidence proving that the tuning was selected to manipulate emotional states, and official records from conferences on pitch standardization focus on practicality and consistency. Yet the conspiracy theory persists because it resonates with a deeper fear that subtle environmental factors can influence collective consciousness without people realizing it. The debate continues not because of definitive proof on either side, but because the idea that frequency affects emotion feels believable to many who already experience music as a powerful force inside their bodies. On a personal level, many listeners describe a clear difference when they compare the same piece of music tuned to 432 Hz and to 440 Hz. They often say that 432 Hz feels deeper in the body, like the sound sits lower in the chest or stomach rather than staying high in the head. Some describe a sense of ease in their breathing, as if their inhale becomes slower without effort, and others mention that their shoulders relax or that their thoughts feel less scattered. When they listen to standard tuning, they sometimes report feeling more alert or more energized, but also slightly tense, as if the sound keeps the nervous system more active. These are not dramatic reactions. They are subtle shifts in mood, posture, and internal sensation that people notice when they pay close attention. Sound directly interacts with the nervous system because the ear sends signals to the brain that influence heart rhythm, breathing patterns, and emotional processing. Slow, steady tones can encourage the body to move toward relaxation, while brighter or more intense sounds can increase stimulation. Across many spiritual traditions, chanting and sustained tones are used to guide awareness into focused or meditative states, and this shows how closely vibration and consciousness are linked in practice. When people speak about 432 Hz feeling more harmonious, they are describing how their body responds over a few minutes of listening, not only how the music sounds aesthetically. Anyone interested in exploring this can try a simple comparison by playing two versions of the same song, one tuned to 432 Hz and one to 440 Hz, and listening in a quiet space without distractions. Instead of analyzing the melody or judging which version sounds better, the focus can be on physical sensations. Notice your breathing, your jaw, your chest, and the speed of your thoughts. After a few minutes, switch versions and observe again. The goal is not to prove a theory, but to observe how your own system reacts. In spiritual exploration, direct experience often carries more weight than arguments, because awareness of your internal state becomes the starting point for understanding how vibration may influence you. The deeper message behind the 432 Hz discussion is that reality itself may depend on delicate vibrational relationships. Physics shows that atoms resonate and that stability emerges from balanced oscillation. Spiritual philosophy extends this idea, proposing that consciousness also operates within harmonic principles, and that alignment with certain frequencies encourages coherence between mind, body, and environment. From this perspective, changing a reference frequency becomes symbolically significant because it represents altering the baseline against which collective sound and emotion are measured. Fine-tuning reality suggests that existence operates like a vast instrument held in balance by precise relationships between vibration and structure. If these relationships maintain stability across galaxies, ecosystems, and living organisms, then alignment with natural resonance becomes a meaningful aspiration. The idea that the planet carries its own rhythm, that human biology evolved within that rhythm, and that sound can either harmonize with it or deviate from it forms the core of the 432 Hz belief. Within this framework, frequency is not an abstract measurement but a living principle shaping awareness itself. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.